The CBG Biotech Formasolve recycler is very similar to the CBG Biotech solvent recycler in that it recycles both xylene and alcohol. It'll also recycle many other xylene substitutes. The difference between the Formasolve and the solvent recycler is that the Formasolve recycler will also recycle formalin. Please watch the CBG Biotech solvent recycler videos, part 1 and 2, before watching this video. Similarities. For solvent, you've got a filled spigot and a spot for recovery containers and waste containers underneath. There's a main power cord and a main power switch in the back. And to turn it on, just turn the e-stop button to the right and it pops out and you'll get your beginning screen. To set up for formalin, we'll use a waste formalin to be recycled container. This is where you'll put your dirty formalin. Connect the spigot to the formalin only input. Spigot's closed. For recovery and waste container placement, place the waste container under the recycler using the tube for the formalin side. There are 2 hoses down there, waste hoses, for the waste after the recycler is complete. The formalin waste hose is on this side of the machine. Recycled formalin container, place underneath on the shelf, put the lid on the container, tighten the lid, make sure the spigot is closed. Filling the dirty formalin waste container. Remove the cap, place the output to the fill pump on top of the container and tighten it. Close the spigot. Dirty formalin container. Remove the input to the fill pump tubing from the clip. Place it into the dirty formalin container. Press the button on the front of the recycler. It takes about 1.5 minutes to move 5 gallons from there up into here. The used formalin dribbles down from the used formalin container into the boiling tank. It's heated into a vapor and then condensed back into a liquid where it comes out of the recycler and goes through the finish filter and then into the recovery container. Once all the good formalin has been recycled, the waste that's left behind will end up in the waste container on the bottom of the shelf. An anti-foam solution is distributed into the boiling tank during the cycle to keep the proteins from foaming up and clogging the system. Be sure to check your anti-foam container before you start the cycle and make sure there's anti-foam in there. Also check your finish filter to make sure it is in the filter position. Now we can start a cycle. Since the last solvent that was recycled was alcohol, we're going to change it to formalin. So press no and to get to the next screen, and then press enter for select product. Alcohol is a choice. We don't want alcohol, we want formalin, so we press no until we see formalin on the display and then press enter. Press reset to get back to the beginning screen, and now we're all set to recycle formalin. Press enter to begin. How many gallons do you want to process? The difference between solvent and formalin is the solvent recycler is based on temperature. When it sees the temperature rise in the boiling tank, it ends the cycle. And formalin, it's based on time. You have to tell it how many gallons you want to recycle so that it knows how long to cook the formalin. So we're going to recycle 5 gallons, so we're going to leave it right there. If we wanted to recycle less, we press no, and it drops the number down. Next drops it up. So at 5 gallons, we press enter. 5 gallons was selected. Press enter to save. Press no to change. We want to press enter to save 5 gallons. Check the anti-foam reservoir. As we said earlier, make sure there's anti-foam in there so that it can get down into the boiling tank during the cycle. Check containers. Loosen lid, then open spigot. Loosen the lid on the top of the dirty formalin container so that it can dribble down into the tank. Open the spigot. Open the spigot on the dirty formalin container. Press enter to start, and you will see that it's starting to fill. Auto start is engaged, so as soon as it fills the boiling tank, it will start the cycle. It takes about 20 minutes to fill the recycler. Once that's done, the cycle will start. There's an anti-foam pump. It's pumping the anti-foam solution into the boiling tank. You can hear that. It pumps for about 15 seconds, and then it pumps for a few seconds periodically throughout the cycle. The tank begins to heat, the solvent, the formalin begins to boil, and condense and collect. The display will tell you the elapsed time and the temperature of the RTDs. RTDs are resistive thermal devices that are monitoring the temperature of the vapor up in the condenser and the liquid down in the boiling tank. So right now the condenser is 22, that's RTD1, and the boiling tank is 22, that's RTD2. Once the tank heats up and the vapor comes up, the display will change. You'll see drawing formalin. You'll see the temperatures increase and the time goes along with the cycle. Once all the formalin has been recycled, you'll see an end of cycle routine. There's a little bit of a cooling period. It'll open the waste drain to let the waste contamination out into the waste container. And then close the waste drain to end the cycle. You'll hear a few short beeps to let you know that the cycle is finished, and you'll see the elapsed time and the RTD temperatures. Typical 5-gallon formalin cycle will take about 10 hours to recycle 5 gallons of formalin. Everything in these videos can be found in the operator's manual attached to the recycler. It's important to note also that if the formalin is buffered before recycling, it must be rebuffered after recycling. The formalin must also be assayed to make sure that it's 10% formalin. And both of those procedures are found in this operator's manual. Finally, the finish filter. The finish filter helps keep contaminants out of the recycled formalin. To change it, simply remove the container from the filter and discard the formalin filter. There are new cartridges that come with each machine. Install the new cartridge. and screw the housing back onto the filter assembly.